Welcome aboard the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon podcast, where we're dedicated to helping first time and experienced boaters find the right boat at the best price and ensure all boaters have years and years of happy boating fun because life truly is better on a boat. Today's podcast is sponsored by the best boat captain on the water training. It takes the stress, frustration, and swearing out of those dockings and other tough situations so you can have total control of your boat or pontoon. Visit bestboatcaptainonthewater.com for a short video and all the details. Now, let's hop aboard and have some fun.
Jim, how you doing?
Hey, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Looks like a nice day out there.
Oh, yeah. Sun just set, and I'll give you a look.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. That's the background you need right there.
Oh, yeah.
That is beautiful. Well, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. We're recording right now, just so you're aware.
Yes.
And this I appreciate you helping me out with this. Here's kind of the plan is just I'll ask you to introduce yourself, kind of share the type of water that you boat on. If you want to mention the lake you're on, the type of boat you have, and then we'll just talk about, what was your experience with the program? How did it help you? What parts did you like? At the end, if you've got any questions, be happy to answer them for you. And if you have any suggestions on how I can improve it, always happy to hear those as well. Does that sound good?
No, that sounds fine.
All right, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and just introduce yourself. You can use your first and last name, whatever you're comfortable with, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Jim Neiman. Just retired last year and had a fantastic opportunity. Was able to purchase a home up here in Crystal Lake in Beulah, Michigan. It's in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula, not too far from Traverse City. And this lake here, it's a beautiful natural lake. It's about 8 miles long by 1 to 2 miles wide, roughly rectangular, sandy bottom. Some gravel and cobbles here and there. It's got a shallow shelf, but it steepens off pretty deeply, and it goes to about 168 feet. It's a lake you can sail, you can motorboat, jet ski, pretty much do everything. I've even seen people windsurfing and some parasailing as well.
Do you mind giving everybody a little peek?
Sure. Just a little panoramic. Here we are at sunset. We're facing west, so we get gorgeous sunsets.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got, what is that, a pontoon on the lift?
Yeah. So that's a 21-foot Bennington 21-foot SRX. Can't see it under there, but it's got a quad combo seating in it, 150 horsepower Mercury outboard engine. It's a tri-tune. I purchased it last fall. I'd been looking at lots of your videos that you had out there.
You can come back to yourself. I wanted to give everybody a taste of what you're gazing out at.
Right. I looked at a lot of your videos last fall, and I think the one thing I did get very importantly was, first of all, to figure out exactly what kind of a boat did I want, and you have to figure out, well, what are you going to be doing? And what it came down to was I wanted something where I could take people out on cruises, especially like right now at sunset. Possibly pull some water skiers or kids on rafts, and possibility of fishing, but that wasn't really a priority. I haven't gotten into fishing yet this summer, although there's plenty of opportunity to do it out here. But after looking at all that, I pretty much decided that I wanted something in the 22 to 24 foot range, tri-tune. I like the quad combo. I kind of like when I was wanting to have another chair, captain's chair next to the captain's chair.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started looking around. Of course, as you know, the market, last year was seriously impacted. Manufacturing was cut. And when I started looking and talking with people, they're saying, look, there's not a lot of inventory out there. All the inventory for next year was pretty much already taken up. And if I wanted a custom boat, I was going to have to wait till 2022.
Yep.
And um, this one marina up here, salesman said, well, look, we'd be happy to show you our inventory for 2021, but we've got this one demo boat left from this year. It had 80 hours on the engine. We're discounting it a third, and we're going to give you the new engine warranty and new boat warranty. And I thought about it a little bit. I asked a couple questions, some of the stuff, just about various things about trailering and all the works, and got all those answered. And I just decided to jump on it, and I don't regret it one bit.
I was going to say, by the looks of you, I think that was a good call from what you shared with me so far.
Yeah, no, boat's been nice. There were just very minor imperfections. It'd been used a little bit, but I'm real happy with it.
What was your boating experience before you bought the Bennington?
Motorboating?
Zero. Okay.
Zero.
So you jumped right in with the lake place and the pontoon, and so you discovered me watching my YouTube videos.
Yes.
Did you invest in the best pontoon captain on the water training before you bought the boat, or after you had already gone out a few times?
After I invested, because I'd had the boat in the fall, and I became aware that you'd rolling out the thing in the spring, so I wanted to do it to just get me, just one more thing to get me grounded. Believe me, I actually bought and read a good part of Chapman's. Chapman's.
Okay, yeah, the
piloting.
Chapman's. I've got a couple copies editions on my shelf,
and that's a big thing to digest. And not all of it applies, but I wanted to read through all that to the extent that I could. But I would say I think you're it appeared like it was going to be, and it certainly turned out to be, that it was a very comprehensive but very practical primer on the things that I needed to understand and to practice out on the water.
What did you find the most valuable out of everything in the program that really stuck with you?
Just the first fundamental,
the building blocks section,
the building blocks module. I went out there, just getting a feel for accelerating and then letting it drift, and doing the turning, and just getting a feel for the controls was very important, because as you can see from out here, we don't, because this is a northern lake, it freezes over in the winter. All the docks have to be pulled up, all the hoists have to be pulled up, so everything is very temporary portable, and you can't tie up to these docks because the waves would just push it up and it would bend it over. And so we've got hoists, and so it's it's not a case where we're tying into anything, but you going in that hoist when you got a wind coming at you 45, 90 degrees, and the waves are out there. It's a little
it looked like you were pretty unprotected on the water if wind's coming from the probably east or west, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
north or south, I guess that's west.
If it's west, it's straight on, and that's not much of a problem. But if it's coming from the north this way, or we get southerly winds too, it can get a bit tricky. And so you have to. Generally, I don't get out in heavy winds if it's crosswind and waves, but if it's light, you just have to be able to. You have to learn how to, give it a little forward and then back off a little bit forward, back off, just to get your speed just right to get in there. And that's what I think the modules help you, or the basic building blocks help you to do.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly how they're designed. So I love to hear that. What did it do for your confidence having done that before? It sounds like before you even went out on the boat for the first time.
I think it, yeah, because what happens is they gave me a bit of an orientation, but then they just pulled the boat to the ramp, which was actually right across, way over there, about a mile away, and uh, they just put it down in the water and they put me on, and they didn't. The guy didn't take me out; he just pulled the thing, and I was out on the water, and there I was.
Oh,
Bam. And I had to bring it across the lake and put it in the hoist. So I just started doing some of those, uh, those building blocks right off the bat to get a feel. And I banged the hoist a little bit coming in the first time, but uh, you know,
yeah, it's gonna happen. So, did you, as you were doing it, did you watch the videos on your computer? Did you ever use the app and be out on the water?
yeah, I thought to do that, but generally um, I didn't really get a chance to use the app on my phone. I'm not text. That seemed a lot to do, to have the phone and trying to do the controls
Right.
at the
Okay.
same time. I did it mostly. I went over and over on the computer,
Very good. Very
the
good.
module.
As you were going through the rest of the program, anything else that jumped out at you that made an impact, that gave you some confidence, or that again was had impact on your fun out on the water?
Yeah, I think the next most valuable thing was the module on towing rafts and skiers, because that was something I didn't have any experience with, and I did. We got some grandchildren who are five and 3, and had having one of the parents in there with them. They just had loads of fun doing that. So that wasn't the first time I did it. I had some of my some grown uh, kids of my cousins who were on it too, and I could bounce them around a little bit more. But yeah, that was enormously helpful, because that was one of the that was definitely one of the uses I wanted to intend with the pontoon boat.
Yeah, when you've got your grandkids, especially that young, 5 and 3, you're
Yeah,
really nervous. Like they don't really know what's going on out there, and as the operator, you want to make sure you've got total control of things.
right. I would say this lake's pretty good in that it's pretty big, and you know unless it's 4th of July or Labor Day or Memorial Day, there's not a lot of traffic for the most part. So you do have a lot of room to, as long as you're watching out, you have a lot of room to maneuver around without having to worry too much about boats,
Good,
other
good.
boats.
So as you've gone through, you're new to boating. Yeah, zero experience when you got started. What would you tell somebody that was just getting into boating, and maybe were you nervous at all when you first got the boat and they said, "All right, here you go. I'm going to push you off the dock. Go ahead and get it at home." What were the feelings that you had there?
Yeah, I was a little nervous pulling it out from the launch ramp, but I was most nervous coming across and trying to put it in the hoist for the first time.
Yeah. What would you tell somebody that was in that position? Was it a something that really made a difference for you, building your confidence and building your skills?
I think the important thing is practice a little bit with the forward and then let off, maybe reverse a little bit, and get a feel for speed and getting comfortable with being able to move at a steady or even a slower rate than when you just kind of got in an idle forward.
Yep.
Um, I think the other analogy, I've got a jet ski down there, and I had ridden jet skis before, but this is the first time kind of doing it and kind of maneuvering it into a tight place. Because if you see that there's kind of a L on that deck, and you're going to get that jet ski around
Yep.
there, and it's the same thing there. It's learning those throttles and being able to just push a little forward and then back it into neutral and let it glide in, and just getting comfortable with that. And I think that just being able to get your speed, control your speed, makes a big difference in being confident with that, because then you can start to judge, you know, speed, and then being in the right position to let the waves kind of move you at the right point, so that when you're at the hoist, you're ready to, move right in.
Did you do the practicing on a buoy? Did you go through that exercise in one of the building blocks?
I didn't because I've got some buoys out there, but they're pretty low and they're pretty close to the dock. So I just kind of basically practiced out a little bit farther
Just
in the
out in the
lake.
open water?
But yeah, I could have done that, I suppose. I would have been really nervous about trying to back into that
Well,
buoy
yeah, you'd
because
have
I
been.
do have.
Yeah, if you would have got on top of it, you could have got yourself in a bad
Yeah,
situation. So that's
yeah, I
probably
wasn't going to
best.
do that.
For sure. Well, what is there anything else that you would like to share about the program? If somebody's like, "Who's this Captain Matt guy?" and I'm going to spend money to get a training from him online, I don't know him. What are your thoughts there?
Well, it's very obvious from videos. You love boating. You're very passionate, interested in conveying that on others. So that definitely comes across. That gives you a lot. There's a lot of integrity there. I so I you know you built some uh, you built some trust in that, and I think I think your approach to the boat buying, all it was just a lot of information that really kind of helped me, I think, sort out what it was that I wanted to do, and that helped me in terms of making decisions. Whether it was going to be, whether it had been a used boat or buying a new boat next year, or taking that opportunity for that demo boat. I mean, it
Yeah,
all just kind of fell into place and worked out, but I would have never gotten there. I might have not even acted quickly enough on that if I didn't really have any idea what what kind of boat I wanted.
yeah, I mean that demo opportunity. It sounds like, man, it didn't get a whole lot better than that, especially the time that you bought it with all the COVID craziness that was going on, and you got
Yeah,
discounts, you got a practically new boat, full warranty. That's awesome. Glad you were able to act quickly on it.
yeah, and I think knowing what I wanted, being able to ask the right questions and get answers on that, really facilitated acting quickly on it.
Good deal. Well, hey, would it be okay to use portions of this video in my
Sure.
marketing? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
not a
get the
problem.
okay on that. Any questions or any suggestions that you have for the training, or that that you think might be valuable for me to hear?
Yeah. Um, Not to, I think you covered everything pretty well. Um, I mean, obviously now where you boat is very different from where I boat, and so you have to draw on what you know and where you are in your experience. I guess um, you could have, if there was a way to do some kind of tailoring, like one little lesson in a manual on maneuvering into a hoist
Okay, that's good.
situation or some. It's kind of like going into a little dock slip,
Right.
basically.
That, you know what, I could probably do that too, and that's what I'm hoping to. Is, I'm in the Carolinas, so I can put a boat in the water in November and do
Right.
some of this stuff, and I'm hoping to just add those little extras to go from
Yeah.
really good to, man, this is amazing.
You know the trick with this hoist out here is, if you bump the side, it doesn't just bump back. Sometimes you can bump that hoist and move it over a little bit.
Yep.
And I've got guide things, and when it's down, those guide things are under the dock. And if I bump one time, I bumped it too far so that the guide was under the dock, and if I
Under,
tried to lift it up, it was going to come up and lift
yeah.
the dock. So I literally had to back out, and I had to sit there, and I had fortunately a guy with me to help guide me. We literally had to kind of gently bump it on the other side to get it back into position, which wasn't wasn't a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
so I've been a little mind. Of course, that taught me a little bit then, um, about what I should avoid doing.
Always something to learn when you're out there. Even
Yeah,
even to me, I was talking to somebody on a podcast, and they were telling me about the box anchor and how much better it was than my video on the Danforth. And I was like, I just can't. And he talked me through it, and I'm like, okay, you might be right. I think somebody with newer experience that doesn't have their set in their ways, hey, I can learn
all
something
right.
still as well from new people.
Yeah, and I
So
would say that the anchoring stuff section was good too, because there's some nice sandbars out here, and there's a cove over here with a nice sandbar that's pretty far out, where it gets up in the 2-3 foot range, but then it drops off real quick to 20 feet. And so you can anchor up in that sandbar. You can maybe put a lily pad out there and swim. It's kind of nice, especially if you got little kids that, they can kind of stand out there or be on the lily pad. So, being anchored there, and sometimes the wind will come up, and if you don't have that anchored right, it'll start to slide you over. And I had one case where it was moving, and I had to reset the anchor.
Now, I've got friends that have a place on Torch Lake.
Yes,
that's got to be fairly close by from what you said.
Yeah, we're on the west side of Traverse Bay.
Okay.
Torch Lake is on the east side of Traverse Bay.
Okay.
I have not personally been there, but people tell me it is just gorgeous.
Well, they've shown me pictures, and the water you can see, it seems like 30 feet deep. And that looks like pretty clear water where you are too, though.
Yeah, we can see, effectively maybe 12, 13, 14 feet. This lake has virtually no agricultural runoff, and there's just one spring-fed creek that enters into it.
Okay.
So it's pretty clear, and you get some brilliant colors, deep blue to turquoise.
That's beautiful. I mean, I'll go in any water. The lakes that are here are dammed up rivers. So after a rain, we've got the southern red clay, and they just turn like a chocolate color.
Yeah.
I get a little envious when I see lakes like that, but everybody's got its pluses and minuses. I can also boat in November, which is good.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
How's the rest of your family taken to boating? I assume the grandkids are all over it and loving it.
Yep. My wife loves going out on the sunset cruises. I need to get her. To try to train to maneuver into the hoist. Just in case there was an emergency sometime.
Exactly. I've had that conversation 3 times today with different people about having their spouse go through the program for that exact reason, just in case, so I had the time limit on the program. I've decided to get rid of that. So I extended yours. I don't know if you've logged in for a while.
I logged in. I couldn't. It didn't have it didn't have the link or the boating resource.
Yeah. So when you log in now, you should see all of that.
Okay.
Because I put it all back in there. It may be organized a little bit different, but the same content and more, because I've been improving it over the season. So that's all back in there for you if you want to check it out or have your wife check it out.
I understood what you were doing with the link, but I wasn't. Shoot, I'm just. It's nice to be able to kind of come back and recheck on some things.
Yeah, come Memorial Day next year, it'll be a good refresher for folks. So that I'm changing that for everybody. But Jim, I really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking your time out to do this. Obviously to help me sell it and use it in my marketing. So it means a lot. I really do appreciate it.
I personally, I think it's for a new boat or a new pontoon boat owner, and I'm sure you're doing this for other kinds of boats, but for a new boater, I think it's an absolute must.
Did you do you have to take a boater safety course in Michigan for everybody, or they have an age limit there?
Yeah, I think it's an age limit because there wasn't a requirement. For that, no.
Okay.
Now I did read they have a book on Michigan regulations, and you do need to be familiar with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
hey, I'll let you enjoy the rest of that sunset and enjoy Labor Day. Be safe out there.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Good luck
to
you. All right. Bye-bye.
Let's pull up the anchor and run this podcast back to the dock. We'll be back again with another helpful and fun episode next time. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/guest. And I'll help offer insights into your boat research and shopping experience. Also, we'd appreciate it if you took just 2 minutes to rate and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. It helps others find us so we can help more boaters. By the way, if you already own a boat and experience a little stress handling your boat or pontoon in some situations, visit bestboatcaptainonthewater.com for a quick video and all the details. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with a few first-time boating tips for when you own your new boat. Number one, know your local boating laws, basic navigation rules, and how to operate your boat safely. It'll make boating even more fun for everyone. Two, be aware of your wake at all times and pay attention to no wake zones because you are responsible for your wake. When maneuvering at slow speeds, you can put out an enormous wake. If going slow, be courteous, save some fuel, and drop down to idle speed, just in forward gear to ensure there is no wake. This could save you an expensive ticket and will keep you from being that guy on your waterway. Number three, boats do not have headlights. They have docking lights, specifically made for seeing in tight quarters and docking. Do not turn your docking lights on while cruising down the water. It can blind other boaters and is very dangerous and, again, could save you an expensive ticket. Number four, follow the maintenance schedule for your boat. Change the oil, impeller, gear lube, winterize if you need to winterize in your area. Inspect your trailer tires, bearings, and grease the hubs if you're a trailer boater to ensure you don't experience expensive and unnecessary repairs that will impact your boating time. Number five, always double check your plug is in, your battery is charged, and the fuel is full before heading out for a day on the water. It could just save your boating day. And if you're a trailer boater, I've got a few extra tips. Number one, at the boat ramp, prepare your boat, your gear, and your guests in the staging area. Then, when you're ready, back down the ramp, unload the boat, head to the parking lot, and right back down to your boat to be fast and courteous to your fellow boaters and don't tie up that ramp unnecessarily. Next, use transom tie-down straps when trailing your boat. Very bad things can happen if you don't, and they do happen. Three, check everything in the boat is secure before heading down the road. Seat cushions, gear, keys, towels, even tubes and lily pads can get blown out when pulling your boat down the highway or interstate. And most important, have fun. Enjoy your boat and get on the water as much as possible because life truly is better on a boat. Until next time, this is your friend in boating, Captain Matt.